Can racism wound the mind as deeply as the body? Frantz Fanon thought so. Written in 1952, Black Skin, White Masks remains a devastating and deeply human exploration of what colonialism does to identity, desire, and self-worth. Whether you're new to post-colonial theory or revisiting a classic, Fanon's insights into race, psychology, and liberation feel as urgent and unsettling as ever. Before I continue, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends so more people can discover this content. I'm on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, please subscribe, and helps this channel grow. First published in 1952, Frantz Fanon's Black Skin, White Masks remains one of the most penetrating analyses of race, colonialism, and identity ever written. Drawing on psychology, philosophy, personal experience, and political theory, Fanon examines how colonial rule wounds the minds of the oppressed and, in doing so, corrupts the humanity of the oppressor. The title carries deliberate symbolic weight. Black Skin represents the lived reality of blackness in a racist colonial world, while White Masks describes the pressure on colonized people to adopt white language, culture, and values in pursuit of acceptance. Fanon's central argument is that colonialism systematically presents whiteness as the standard of civilization, intelligence, and beauty, engineering a profound sense of inferiority in those it subjugates. Fanon insists that racism operates as powerfully on the mind as on the body and social institutions or the economy. Through language, education, media, colonized people are conditioned to reject their own culture and internalize European norms. Many respond by attempting to become white culturally, perfecting the colonizer's language, adopting European manners, distancing themselves from blackness. Yet, Fanon shows the painful futility of this project. No degree of assimilation shields a black person from racist dehumanization. The result is a chronic psychological conflict, an identity fractured between two worlds, fully accepted by neither. Fanon extends his analysis into intimate life, arguing that colonial ideology shapes attraction and relationships. He contends that some black women seek white partners because whiteness is bound up with power and social prestige, while some black men pursue white women as a form of symbolic equality or recognition. These patterns, Fanon argues, are not simply personal choices, but symptoms of colonial psychology deeply embedded in the social fabric. Among the book's most arresting passages is Fanon's account of being confronted by a white child who exclaims, "Look, a Negro." In that instant, Fanon describes being reduced to a racial object, fixed, flattened, and defined entirely by the gaze of the other. This experience of hypervisibility illuminates how racism forces black people into a state of perpetual self-consciousness, stripping away their humanity and replacing it with stereotype. Despite its unflinching critique, Black Skin, White Masks is ultimately a humanist text. Fanon rejects both white supremacy and exclusionary racial nationalism, aspiring instead to a world where people are seen and judged as human beings rather than racial categories. His closing declaration, that he wishes to remain a man who questions, affirms the values of freedom, dignity, and self-determination as the foundation of true liberation. More than 70 years after its publication, Black Skin, White Masks continues to shape post-colonial studies, psychology, sociology, and political theory. Its diagnosis of racial trauma, cultural alienation, and the psychological afterlife of colonialism speaks with remarkable urgency to contemporary debates about racism, identity, and belonging across the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this summary of Black Skin, White Masks by Frantz Fanon, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss future book reviews and discussions. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts on Fanon's ideas about identity, racism, and colonialism. Do you think his arguments still apply today?